Yes. Vote. The fuck? Okay, so... No? Okay, yeah, it works. Cool. As usual, the end, tormenting the speakers. And we have pretty cool discussion, I hope, because it will be clouds versus on-premises. And as you can see, we have a few Oracle representatives here. Sorry, was it a conclusion of the panel? Can we end? So, you all know probably that I'm not a cloud enthusiast regarding enterprise technologies like Oracle Database, but I will try to stay open-minded. But Pratchett said that the problem with open mind is that someone always is trying to put something in there. So before I open my mind one last time, fuck the clouds. Okay. So, I invited a few awesome people here to discuss. You all know them probably, but well, Fritz, one of the most low-level guys I know, and probably, well, of course, Windows and so on, but Fritz, one of the most experienced and low-level guys I know. Okay, I will do you later. I don't know. Okay, so Fritz usually is on my team regarding the cloud, but we'll see at the end. Neil, also one of the most experienced BAs I met, and he saw evolution of Oracle for many years, as you may know. Jim, well, he's just fucking crazy. And his origins are from Poland. So, and Jim had a lot of experience, well, Jim had some experience because you can't have a lot of experience right now with autonomous data warehouse, right? So I hope that he will say a few interesting things regarding the autonomous warehouses. Jeff, yeah, he introduced himself, I think. Product manager from Oracle. Well, he's more into development, and thanks to him we have tools like SQL Developer, right, and SQLCL. So, well, I would like to hear your perspective on cloud regarding the development, for example, and do you use cloud while developing your tools or managing your team? This is interesting. Puppy, because no one fucking can pronounce his real name, so let's just call him Puppy. You can, okay, but I will do you later. So Puppy is a freshly baked product manager of DataGuard. So a few questions regarding standby databases and DataGuard will be interesting here regarding the clouds and not so cloud maybe. Flora, well, I asked Flora here because she has quite interesting experience with Exadata Clouded Customer. So I think she will say a few things about this wonderful product, because, well, I have also a few experiences with Exadata Cloud Customer. Okay, later. And Mike, another master product manager from Oracle. So we have quite interesting team in here regarding the cloud versus on-premises talk. And in any time you like to ask some question, put something in, just raise your beer. If you have no beer, you have no voice, okay? Okay, you can raise your hand, and I assume that you will have a beer later, for example, or you will have weed. So it's okay for me too. Okay, so from now on, I will try to stay open-minded. We have this huge cloud pushing from all the vendors, not only Oracle, right? And I would like for us to stay focused on cloud as enterprise, like cloud for Oracle databases mainly. And maybe, because this is one of the, most hot topics recently, maybe I would like to start with some comments on autonomous data warehouse, Jim, for example, because, everything right now in Oracle is either adaptive or autonomous or, fucking cloud. So,
please.
AI,
So,
actually,
pardon?
Don't forget about AI.
Oh,
yeah,
AI as in automatic indexing?
Yeah.
Sure. And actually, Kamil, I've been spending most of my time lately on autonomous transaction processing, the dedicated aspect of that. So I've been working more on that, but I did a lot of work with autonomous data warehouse. Actually, I've got a video out there now, you may have seen, I tweeted it out, that I did like a 4.5, 5-minute video demonstrating the transaction processing count of TPC-E's workload generation tool. I'm going to be integrating that into Swingbench pretty soon. So you'll have a chance to play with that against, hopefully, an ATP instance. And I'm just starting, really, to shake out what I think ATP really means. The thing that was really amazing to me, and I'll just give you kind of I've always considered myself to be a DBA's DBA, right? You know, I know what it's like if you were in my presentation today, what it's like when Bernice Pain the ass shows up and goes, it's running slow, you know, or somebody complaining about that kind of stuff. And the thing I find intriguing about autonomous is that I see it as a force multiplier. So I'm going to just go kind of unicorn and unicorns farting stardust, okay? Yeah. Because truly, I think if we use it for the right workload, it could relieve a lot of the stress that DBAs typically go through. And a lot of the problems that we run into is because old-style DBAs would grab the knob and turn the dial, right? Turn this dial, that dial, this dial, that dial, and forget to turn the dial back, right? Play with initialization parameters that you don't even really understand what they're there for. And I've seen that happen a lot. And my attitude, because I used to teach the performance tuning class for Oracle University all the way up through 12C, is you don't start with initialization parameters, right? What you do start with is the SQL statements. And that's what I really do like about this new focus towards don't mess with the knobs. You've got 5 database services to run. No.
Come on, dudes.
I just want to, that's okay. I think I got something for you. Whoa, yeah. Sorry about that. Wait, you want me to do that? Anyway, so from my perspective, it's more of a thing of let's not mess around with stuff we shouldn't be touching. Let's stay focused.
Okay,
It's like It's like a frickin' Monty Python skit.
Jim,
I
Jim,
swear.
let's-
So anyway, that's my attitude, right?
Okay, so you're saying that you like the approach of not touching what's appropriate.
Not touching knobs.
Okay.
You want to go with that?
Yeah, cool. But
Go ahead.
as far as I see it, from the autonomous perspective, you are forbidding the touching completely, right? And the guys like Fritz who like to touch at
I'll just say this once.
very low, and they know what they are doing.
There is simply no confidence
Better.
like the PRU Jude. That's all I'll say.
Probably better than even a lot of, well, probably for sure even better than most of the people from Oracle support. People like Fritz are forbidden from, okay, I don't know how to tell it right now for you not to go in the wrong direction, so I'm not going to avoid this, from going inside and resolving the issue. Right? Because right now, as far as I understand, when we have an issue, we have to raise SR for Oracle and wait for...
I'm not disagreeing there. I'm just saying that, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, Fritz, I read your blogs. I know where you guys are going with this, you know, and I understand that. I'm just saying that, you know, maybe it's time to think about doing things a different way. Let's concentrate on building better systems. Let's concentrate on building better data models. And that maybe is where I see the advantage. Stop worrying about stuff. Now, that's as positive as I think I can draw a case on it. I'm not
Neil?
sure I necessarily, it is not the best thing in the world right now. It's got some time to evolve yet. ATP's only 18 months old. But,
Neil, would you like to comment on that?
go.
Would you like to comment on Fritz touching?
I certainly won't comment on Fritz touching, or Fritz being inside.
Is it mobbing already or yet? I don't know.
Actually, just before I continue, I'm just wondering about what are these called?
Phone check.
Phone check.
No, thank you.
That's good. I'm going to start talking about cloud now. Just continue with Jim's point. Shit. Ooh, that doesn't work. Just to continue with Jim's point, I agree. I mean, moving across the autonomous thing, it's a really good idea. It's not for everyone, and it's not for all workloads.
Right.
And that does need to be made clear. But there is a slight conceit in your answer, in that we need to concentrate more on data models, we need to concentrate more on writing SQL at a time when what I see from development is a movement away from that. A movement into using, you know, you take a Java developer, you stick Hibernate on it, you instantiate your in-memory hierarchy, and have that as your data model, or you have, you know, a few incredibly wide tables. And an awful lot of development these days seems to come from, you know, copy, paste, tweak, compile, that'll do. And I see that at quite a few clients. Not all clients, I'll admit, but quite a few clients. And so it's I think one of the problems we've got there is kind of the split between the database trying to be all things to all people and development moving off in a slightly different direction. Now, I'm not saying that autonomous is not the answer, but also it's almost kind of, in some ways, given the way development's going, it's not necessarily the right direction either. Because it's one thing to have, you know, a database that's kind of self-tuning and self-learning and doing some really clever stuff, and some of the stuff Autonomous does is really quite brilliant. The machine learning in there and the AI stuff, and they're doing their damnedest to make incredibly intelligent AI engines that sit and look at your workload and work it out and optimize incredibly well. But there's a big but associated with that.
So, Jeff, would you continue this but? Jeff, well, Jeff, you're a developer, right? No? You were a developer.
I help developers.
You help developers. So, do you think this approach is a help for the developer team, or, like, from my perspective, from my perspective, the message is, don't think, we think for you. And
Yeah, I think that sales and marketing is very good at taking a concept and running 1,000,000 miles an hour and taking it to the furthest extremes. Autonomous, we take it for you. That's much easier to sell than a nuanced story of all things being equal, we can give you a really good, predictable, fast workload here, and you can concentrate more on business value. So, anytime anyone from Oracle is telling you something, you need to keep your thinking cap on and you know, trust but verify, or maybe distrust and disprove. I don't know. My team's perspective is we want to help you regardless of where your data is. So when we build our tools, we build it for on-prem, for virtualized, and for in our cloud. It's not my job to tell you where you should be running your workload. It's my job to help you be successful running that workload where you choose to run it. For Autonomous, this automatic indexing is kind of the hot term right now. And in the Autonomous Data Warehouse, they didn't even allow indexes in version 1 of it. And then all of a sudden, some customers put workloads in it, and they magically needed indexes again. So, what I find very valuable is we, as Oracle, as a hosting and providing company now, we get to see real workloads running in our stuff, and it's going to make us improve our stuff much faster, rather than us just building things, and then when you complain it doesn't run well, we say, oh, well, you're dumb, you build it wrong. So now that we have to eat our own dog food, so to speak, I think everyone wins. And even if you're not running every single workload in our cloud, when you do find the ones that are appropriate, it should be quite nice. And Larry's, bound and determined to kick Amazon's ass, so it's always going to be cheaper than AWS. And I don't think anyone's going to figure out how to run Oracle faster than Oracle can run Oracle.
well,
so there is
besides Fritz, right?
If you can see him all the way down there where he lives in yeah, I'm not a DBA or a developer. I'm here to empower everyone to be successful with our tech. I'm so good at it, you don't even know I'm selling.
Jeff, let me stop you right now. You start to sound like a coach, so.
I think it's quite plain simple, and this is, I think, a general rule that exists since medieval times, and that is, if you are given something that sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Unless somebody truly can explain to you why it does that for you. And unless that's not happening, then it probably is too good to be true. I've seen a lot of situations where people were essentially put sand in their eyes and believing that a new technology, in this case cloud, but it's not even only cloud, but that a new technology would magically solve all kinds of problems without understanding what the problems were. And that is where you're actually just entering new problems. Because then people are dissatisfied because it doesn't do what they think it does. And then other people need to come in and need to change it. And if these people do not really understand that technology, they make other change, etc. And essentially, it's a big pile of shit.
But right now it's getting harder and harder to understand the technology, right?
Yep.
Like Neil, you showed me, you actually gave me some books from Oracle 9 trainings regarding dumps and traces and internals, and they were awesome, right? Explaining what actually is going on underneath, how data types are being stored, how Oracle interprets roles, and so on and so on. It disappeared from Oracle trainings, and this knowledge, like the knowledge that you are digging in, the things that you are showing, like here today and then on your blogs, it's harder and harder to do it because Oracle, from my point of view, Oracle is giving you less and less and less of the knowledge about their product. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, almost doubly wrong in terms of Fritz, because we do have, you know, the Hoogland trace paradox.
Yes, there is the Hoogland trace paradox.
Which,
Yeah.
if you don't know what this is, there is a certain amount of developers in Oracle who, when Fritz traces something and proves how it works, they then remove the tracing from their code so he can't do it again. So the trace is there until it is observed by Fritz, and then it's gone.
And this is from reliable source.
This is from a very, very reliable source within Oracle. This has happened.
More than once. Okay, so and right now Oracle is trying to give you something that's in between, like, well, both hybrid on premises and cloud, and it's called Cloud at Customer, right? So one of the products is Exadata Cloud at Customer, which well combines on premises, so you have actually a box in your server room, but you can't access everything, right? Right. Okay, Flora. So you can't access everything, and well, you have access to root to your operating system, virtual operating system, and you could do all the bits that, for example, Fritz does while tracing with the database, because you have access to the database as an administrator. But Flora.
Yes.
But what's going on when you try to, well, diagnose the whole stack? What's the story?
Okay, so just basically Exadata Cloud at Customer is like regular Exadata, but you don't have access to all the stack under the operating system. So I know nothing about storage cell and stuff like that, because this part is directly managed by CloudOps.
Oracle support team, right?
Yeah, they call
Who
themselves
likes Oracle support
CloudOps.
team? Oh, Martin, you're lying.
So, sorry, actually, so this team manages everything that is under the operating system level. But it's not only that you have an Exadata and you have a few nodes and you have the OS installed and then you just deal with the rest and the database installation and so on. Actually, you have features that were already existing in the public cloud, and most of them are about automation, which is a very good idea. So basically, most of the boring stuff that we used to do, like, I don't know, patching or provisioning databases or things like this, or upgrading, patching, or cleaning logs and things like this are already taken care of.
Well, they should be.
They are. They really
No.
are. But to just to continue with your point before, I try to look under the hood, but please know that I'm 100 kilometers above Fritz level, So I cannot go as deep as he did. It's just that I really wanted to understand how all this automation worked on Exadata Cloud.Customer. And if there is one thing that I can say is that the idea is good, the procedure works, but when something is wrong, there is a lack of information, and you could find them by yourself, but it takes more time. So I'm not asking for a very specific or a protected piece of code and things like this, but just understand the big picture of how it works, just to make us feel more comfortable when we need to troubleshoot. So the idea is good, it works, and when it doesn't work, like we were joking about upgrade, because sometimes you click the upgrade button and it doesn't work, and it just says error, and you don't know what the error is, but you have no logs. So to me, this is the kind of things that should be improved, and we should have access to these kind of information, and they are not that much low level. They're like normal logs and things like this.
Yeah, so what I think is we change the definition of the low level here.
Yeah,
Because,
absolutely.
yeah, because right now, what we see as a high level is just a button, it's
Yeah.
just a click, right? And if a few years back, what we thought as a high level was, for example, SQL Plus and SQL, and right now we have a button. So right now, the definition of low levelity changed. Changed a lot, and well, we have similar experience actually with Exadata CC, because we are also implementing it at the customer, and we have the same problems with it actually. And this is one of the parts of the cloud that I actually like, is automation, right? As you said,
Me too.
because automation of some boring processes is a good idea, as you said, because, well, I don't want to write millions of scripts to maintain logs, to build servers, to copy something, and so on and so on. Well, actually I did. So, I don't know, I have my private fucking cloud. So, all of us, DBAs, have a set of private scripts to automate boring tasks, right? So, the cloud bit of automation seems pretty cool. But as you said, suddenly, if something goes in, yeah, something goes wrong, you lack of logs.
No,
And-
there are some logs, but you need to find them.
Exactly.
Well, you need to,
Yeah.
you need to find
Or
them.
you
so
can buy managed cloud services. Additional support.
yeah, so but it's not so easy to find the logs. It's not like you have an error and then a link, click and see the log. No, it doesn't work
It's
like
behind
that.
the operating system. You need to find.
Well, if you go to the operating system, you still have like 3 million logs.
Oh, not so many. There are.
Another? Would you care to join me?
Basically, you can't find them, but I agree that basically as a user, you shouldn't care about it. If you're looking into the user interface, graphical user interface, it gives you like an error. That's
Yeah,
it.
but the graphical interface is not the only one option. You have
But
APIs, you have
I paid
CLIs.
for it. I paid for it.
Yeah, but there is an error. There is an error, and you can get details. So it doesn't matter if you go to the GUI or you can go to the operating system. It's the same. You have the same logs.
Please.
I've worked with it, not really directly on it, but I've advised and helped clients and colleagues with it. But I think the main problem here is, essentially as I see it, as a client you are still responsible for anything which is on the operating system and database. So you get automation in the form of a button, you click it, it doesn't work. And it should be not your responsibility because you didn't automate it, you don't know how it works. And you are essentially there left alone. I think that is the whole point.
Oh, Poppy?
Yes, my friend. Before I joined Oracle, I was working on an XACC project. So I had
And back then you didn't like it, and now you have to.
exactly. No, point I'm trying to make is very
So you
simple.
must be happy.
I'm so happy now. The point I'm trying to make is that basically everything is there, and the moment that, as I don't know your name, but you need to find the logs, but they are there. So if there is something going wrong, you can easily find what is going wrong.
Easily? Is it easy?
Easy.
Flora?
I'm sure that the documentation can be slightly improved and just
Slightly improved!
and just give you a few more information about how to troubleshoot in some of the most encountered situations, or where to find the logs, or what kind of file you want to look for in a specific situation. I'm not talking about having everything and having all the secrets of the automation in the logs, but, in the docs, but something that can help you, as Fritz said, when you're responsible for the. Later, thank you. When you're responsible for the operating system and the rest, and the database and the Oracle homes, you have to have more information, because if something goes wrong, you cannot turn to Oracle and you don't know where the logs are, you don't know how some specific procedure work, so it's way more difficult to troubleshoot in this situation.
And another question, I think, is if I have this kind of system and I click upgrades, how much of an automation I want to have in there, and how many steps I want to, well, have control on the upgrade process. Because, well, Mike, you work pretty hard on with your team on, well, easing up the upgrade process, right? So it is much easier than it was.
But we write a lot of logs.
But you write a lot of logs.
More than before, and we tell you where they are. So I'm fully agreeing. So actually, when you go to my blog, in the old cloud stuff, and it's the same on the XRCC, which has the same interface. When you apply a patch and it failed, I'm with you, Radek, you get an error and you get no link. So I know where to look at. So you can find a log. So Peter is right. You guys, I mean, you live in logs, I guess, and traces. For you it should be, but for most people it shouldn't. And so I'm fully in agreement. Yeah, a link would be fine to say, okay, we would like to hide the complexity from you. That's the idea. And if something fails, we should still give you access. So there's a disconnect. And with the Gen 2 generation machines, that should be a bit better. But no promise from our side here, because we just use the systems as you do. So we try to, I think that the hard thing for people like Camille or Fritz is to get their hands not into it. So it's really, but you have to see reality. How none of you, or I guess none of us here in the room, is able to purchase or lease an XRCC and sign a contract, except for very rare people. So usually these things are driven by business decisions, and the salespeople go in and say, hey, it's simple, it's easy, and everything runs flawless, and you click a button, and things work. Sometimes you have showed this, Flora, with simple, very long REST codes. You can do stuff and automate stuff, but the idea is really automating things. And the problem or disconnect happens when something fails. I think we are all in agreement with that. And then we need to look at it, because you don't get always the assistance you would like to have as quickly as you would like to have it. And I see this as sometimes frustrating. We are getting better on that. Bear with us. We know about these things, and it's still people like us talking internally as well. And it's not perfect yet. It will be better. But I think the initial question was on-prem versus cloud, and now we discuss all the aspects of an XRCC.
Well, no, XRCC is one of the examples, right? Because XRCC is example of a hybrid solution. So yes, we are discussing on-premises versus clouds, and here we have something in between. Well, and it seems a bit better, for example, in terms of security, because you know where physically your data is, right? I always forget, data is or data are? Data is okay, thank you, sorry. Because, you know, some guys from Australia sometimes say data are, or data. Okay, you know who I'm talking about. You know where your data is, right? So that's pretty cool, and you should benefit from all the automation with this kind of solution. So that's why I brought up ExaCC here, because it seems like an interesting idea. And it is a different licensing model, right? Because it is a lease. But still, well, if this doesn't work as expected, how can we believe that, for example, protecting the data and maintaining transactions in autonomous processing will work as expected right now or ever? Because automating processes like patching, upgrading, and so on seems pretty easy. Well, it's not easy, but seems easier than developing autonomous processing for warehouses and transaction processing, right? Seems a bit different level of complexity. Well, we have right now a cloud solution with awesome idea, and we really doubt the execution, right? And it's not only the thing that people like Fritz and I want to put our fingers in it, but if we can't, how can we be sure that it works correctly?
We're not selling to you guys. We're selling to your boss's 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 boss.
Yeah, but have no fucking idea what they're doing.
And you're stuck with making sure it's not letting the enterprise down. So there's always going to be a disconnect.
So this is, for me, unusually a serious point. Something I'm aware of, because the work my wife does, is meeting regulatory requirements and making sure that A, your data is in the correct country, and what happens when things break and getting the data back, and protection of your data. And although I think Oracle has done a great job in moving some of that forward, you were one of the first companies to actually say, if you need your data in Europe, your failover place would also be in Europe. Because for a long time that wasn't true. And as soon as that went wrong, you were outside of what your industry had to do. But there is this problem that if you actually look at what Oracle promised to do and what you have to do to meet the regulatory requirements if you're in banking or in pharmaceuticals, we can't take you on trust. We need absolute assurance. And as far as I'm aware, Oracle is very good at absolute assurance. Or am I wrong?
You have to read your contracts. I don't. I'm not a lawyer.
Are you talking specifically about data will only be in your country or region as necessary?
The point I'm making is justice, from a legal point of view, counts for nothing. And you, the company, so if you're a large pharmaceutical company and you find yourself breaching the regulations on how and where you log your data and who can see it, is the hosting company responsible for that breach, or is the pharmaceutical company? And as far as I'm aware, it's the pharmaceutical company still, it's their systems. But if they've handed them over, and this isn't a problem just with cloud, this is a problem with all outsourcing, because cloud is just outsourcing with automation.
Yes, it is.
So, in fact, it's a bloody stupid term, but we do all at least know kind of what it means. So what I see as a big problem, and is never addressed to my acknowledge is the legality of it. And I don't think you guys from Oracle are actually really able to answer that because your bosses would rip your balls off. But I just wanted to make the point that if any of you in the audience are looking to put such systems onto a cloud provider, you have to really think about the legality of matching your regulatory compliance. And now they're all staring at me.
Put a visual into our heads
With the balls.
I mean, that's part of the appeal of cloud a customer. It's in your data center, so you know where your data is. My question is, if we weren't pushing cloud and autonomous, would you guys be looking at cloud anyway? And I think the answer is yes.
Who is looking into the cloud? Yeah.
Who's already in cloud?
Who's already in cloud?
Someone's cloud. That's actually not a lot of people. I was saying in the US, we'd see at least half their names go up.
Okay, but you do everything faster, right? Like,
No, that's not good.
It also
That means
depends
we
what you
fail
mean.
faster too.
you fail faster too.
That's what I say, Jeff, it also depends, do you mean by cloud, do you mean Oracle Cloud, or do you mean
No,
any old cloud?
Any cloud.
Any cloud.
Any cloud.
Google, AWS, Azure, your own internal clouds. Yes.
It's just from my client's perspective, I don't have any of them in the Oracle Cloud. I have quite a few in AWS and Azure. They're mostly on-prem, but no one is in the Oracle Cloud at the moment. Nearly pushed one of them in there, but that's another story.
You can blame developers for all of this. Developers have created this monster, and we're all rushing to capture when you're as a developer. Yeah, we're trying to grab you. We're trying to get you to like us and use our stuff. I mean, that's what it is. We go where the market is. Yeah, start paying you.
Oh, you earn pretty good. Come on. I know you.
I heard you, but I'm a kid.
So one of the things that also bothers me with all, as you said, Martin, outsourcing, so also remote hosting, is, well, a security point of view, right? Because, okay, we have all the licenses in cloud, like Database Vault and advanced encryption, so on, so on, so on. So you can encrypt your data, and all the backups are already encrypted. And Oracle is giving you all the licenses in the cloud, as far as I understand, to use all those advanced security features in order to have your data protected, right? But, and this is the thing that actually scares me a little bit, because if I have, for example, autonomous thingy and no access to the operating system, I can't actually start my own auditing and check what's going on, because, well, also there are people logging into the system, like your DBAs, but there are only people, Oracle DBAs, but they are only people. The people can be, the people can access my data.
That's not true.
Yes, they can.
No, they can't.
Why?
We physically don't have any of the access keys or passwords to your instances.
Okay, but you have access to operating system.
Data's encrypted and you have the key.
But you know, and I showed you that I can access all the encrypted data in memory and even change them, and it is very easy. It is extremely easy to access unencrypted data in SGA.
I'm not authorized to speak on behalf of Oracle. I will say,
Since 1931, I think you can't do that anymore, so I don't know what your
Oh,
demo
really?
was sitting on, because we have, the reason for 1931 is SGA protection.
Is what?
Is SGA protection.
Okay, oh, that's cool, that's interesting.
I've seen a lot of demos here based on 18, so I don't know what your demo was based on. But I would just, I'm not sure, Camille. Not do, don't want to do like a battle with you here.
Yeah,
But
I
try
will look
again
at
with 94.
You remember my tool that I used to edit blocks, right?
Yeah, of course.
So basically, I can do the same, but in buffer cache from the operating system, and it is a block.
Give
But
it a try in 94 or
no. I didn't try it yet. I tried it in 18,
Yeah.
and because with advanced with transparent data encryption in terms of table spaces, the block is unencrypted during the read, right? So it is unencrypted in memory, and I can, you know that I can go to the SGA and read the data and even change the data. I have a demo that tracks all active transactions, and I can change the data while transaction is running. And if you specify commit in your session, Oracle will encrypt my changes and write it to the disks. And I have demos showing this on a few conferences. I showed it last year to Rob and Roger McNichol, so they got pretty interested in it. I think that they went back to do something with it. So maybe this is the feature you are talking about in 19.
I think so.
It is
Let's
interesting.
try it and let's discuss afterwards, okay?
I just want to say, as product managers, we're on your side. We're here because we want to hear the real things, and we're the link between the customers and the engineers.
Yeah, and then that's a good thing.
And
You know,
we want an unfiltered view. And I know there are things that you like about us, even if you're embarrassed to say them out loud. I have a strong ego, so I don't have to be told why you love us, even though I know you love us. I mean, shit, you're here on a Saturday. Where's your husbands and wives and kids are like mommies at an Oracle conference. So first of all, thank you. We only win if you guys win. So you need to keep pushing us and holding us to a fire, making us live up to our promises.
On premises, yes.
Yeah, and it's on us to deliver that stuff. Larry likes to promise big, so it's kind of a lot for us to deliver on. So, you know, I look forward to meeting that challenge, and you know, keep poking us with hot, sharp sticks. Just don't put your fingers inside us. I don't like that. I don't consent to being touched on the inside.